5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglash for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Flipping the script. Due to COVID, hold times may be long. Our section may be limited, our fees excessive, our orders delayed, our service may be bad. And somebody says, well, wasn't that all true before COVID as well? Great question, right? Great. And the guy says, we're all in this together. Yeah, right. Okay, that's good. Thank you for that. So anyway, let's go on. Let's go down. I always like Tom's comments. He says, many businesses continue to follow the same stock script using COVID as an excuse for whatever they are not figuring out, okay, for all manner of customer experience letdowns. University of Wisconsin contacted me this morning, asked me if I wanted to be on their panel on customer experience. I said I wasn't sure. I hope they're on here today. If you're on from University of Wisconsin, I happen to be talking about customer experience. And Tom Rector, founder of a custom merchandise company in Illinois, said, this is a time for delivery service to be better, not worse. This company's trying to differentiate itself by exceeding expectations. Due to COVID, our commitment to you, we're shipping your order on time or ahead of schedule. It's not an excuse. It should never be used as an excuse to underperform. We have to find solutions to problems caused by COVID and stop letting the situation be a reason. As entrepreneurs, we have to find a way to get the job done. We have to stop, and as consumers, we have to stop letting companies off the hook for giving excuses. It's my opinion that it's not fair to make my customers suffer from my inability to navigate a situation or solve my problems. Now, I told you a couple of weeks ago about the fireworks company store. I really appreciated that from Ron Jacobs. And he called me after one of my webinars. And Ron told me that he had a client that was a very large fireworks supplier. And they shut their retail stores in March and thought that fireworks was going to be big this year for some reason. I don't know what. But their supplier was actually located in Wuhan, China. Imagine trying to deal with that. What did they do? They called up other fireworks retailers and said, how are you doing? And times are tough, times are terrible. Hey, we're going to stay closed. Okay, that's fine. Hey, would you like to sell all your inventory? They said, sure. How much can we get for it? Well, we'll cover your costs, maybe a little extra. That fireworks company had the best year they've ever had. Well, because first they found the inventory. Second, they knocked out all the competition. And they could own those guys next year, I suppose, now that they've got all this cash. Anyway, that's the entrepreneurial way. That's the way you got to be thinking, not thinking, oh, it's terrible, so terrible. Okay. JetBlue is to offer an at-home COVID-19 test. Okay? And why is that a game changer? You need to understand this. Because this is the first pandemic or epidemic where we've tried to quarantine everybody instead of quarantining the sick people. That's a profound change. Now, there was some history that said closing the movie theaters in St. Louis in the Spanish flu pandemic, which is a bad name for it, but Spain got blamed for it because we could, I guess. Anyway, so there was some evidence that less social contact, that social distancing had some impact, but not a whole lot. In every other epidemic, we've kept the sick people home. But in this one, we said, you don't know if you have it, and you might not have symptoms, but you can still be contagious and spread it. That's a recipe of unknown for disaster, for fear and disaster. So some tests are coming out now where in this case, you test yourself with a video conference with a health professional, and then you send it back overnight and you get tested so that you can go to countries that are requiring quarantine or a negative test right before you leave. There's some other options, which are testing at the airport. Here's one that I came across yesterday, and I tweeted it to my friend Scott Adams, and I'll show you this one right now. Oops.
During the health emergency, SEMA Verma and CMS permits laboratories to extend their certificate to operate in temporary sites like schools or churches or parking lots. I will demonstrate a self-swab for you to show you just exactly how easy the test is performed. This will generally be done by a healthcare provider, but it can be done supervised. It's this easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into the test, twist it 3 times. The adhesive is pulled off, and you wait 15 minutes, and that is the test.
Okay, and the reason, and interestingly, I don't know where we're at now, but I got, let's see where we're at now. It's fun to watch. I got 110,000 views on that baby that I put together yesterday as a fun project to see what would happen on Twitter. So I've never in my whole life, you could probably add all the tweets I've done, 3,000 some, and I've never gotten that many, probably all put together combined. So it was a little bit encouraging for me. Anyway. That's not what the big story is today. Today we want to get over to, but if we can test relatively inexpensively and broadly, then if you have any symptoms, you can get tested and say, oh no, that's not COVID. Okay. But if it is, well, then you should quarantine. I'm not opposed to quarantine. I'm opposed to quarantine everybody because of the uncertainty, because we don't know. So it's a game changer to have a quick, easy test. And I watch them take the test, but they shove it all the way up to your brain. I don't want to sample my brain fluid with that. This looks good. I can handle that. Okay, so now let's get on to the really, really big story of the day. The secret sauce behind TikTok's recommendation algorithm. This will shock you. It just stunned me. Okay, and Eugene Wee explains the TikTok design, and what's crucial about this is it's not about the computer analysis. That's not what makes TikTok better than Twitter or Facebook or anything that's shoving information at you. Okay, here it comes. He's a former exec at Amazon and Oculus, okay, and has penned the most concise explanation of what makes TikTok tick. His second entry in a 3-part series on the video app is a must-read. I'll post this in the comments. I'm not sure I can post it here. I think I can if I hit Control. Let's see. No, that didn't do it. Anyway, I'll try and make a comment after this finishes. I do have it up someplace. I think I have it up. Nope. I had it up, and I don't anymore. Okay, but here's the boiling it down. TikTok, unlike Facebook and Twitter, has an algorithm-friendly design. You remember I talk about direct mail having a built-in labeled data set. And you may not get that. But when IBM taught Watson to play Jeopardy, the reason it worked so well is because they had 127,000 Jeopardy questions from the history of Jeopardy that they knew what the right answer was. So they could count up. Simple as that. They could test an algorithm. Let's look for all the proper names in the question. You know, and the question will be Washington University NCAA or something. And then the computer looks for all the Washington geographically universities that have won, you know, the NCAA championship or something. And maybe Georgetown has. I think they have a couple of times. So that would be it. On the other hand, but then it might be a question. Washington University founder might be in it. Might be, and it might not be Georgetown. I don't know. Or it could be University of Washington. Washington is a great search test because it has a lot of ambiguity around it. There's a lot of things that Washington hits. So, they learn. Oh, it didn't get all of these because it didn't have the negation. Negations are really important in Jeopardy. And so, anyway, but here is boiling down. Here is the big deal on TikTok. Twitter feed has lots of information around a tweet that doesn't really relate to the tweet. It relates to whether you've already done something. It relates to sources and comments and too much noise. Absolutely true. Too much noise. Okay? But here's the worst part. This right here is the key. User sentiment isn't fully clear. When I scroll through Twitter, I can stop for things. I can read them. I might hit like, but I might be in a hurry, or it might be something I posted, and I'm not going to hit like on that. Not clear what's what. Okay? This is TikTok's page, the same story from The Hustle. Okay? And much bigger story front, right? But here's the kicker. And I haven't loaded TikTok, but everything on this screen indicates whether a user likes or dislikes this video. That is everything. Why? Because TikTok built in a labeled data set. If your marketing doesn't build in a labeled data set, you have nothing to work with. You have no idea what's going on. It is useless. It is so useless you don't even realize how useless it is. And yet you're being told that you're a direct marketer. Sorry, you don't understand it. You don't understand the game. You never have understood the game. Ever. Direct marketing is not about creating a measurable response. It's about creating field valid experiments. It's about a heuristic system that gets smarter and smarter and smarter. If you haven't got it set up to do that, you don't know anything. Nothing. And there's no differentiating feature to your direct marketing. It's baloney. Direct marketing and direct marketers are, for the most part, baloney. Because they don't understand this point right here. That in mail, if you set it up right, it builds a heuristic system with a baked-in labeled data set that gives you all you need to get smarter every day. That is why TikTok wins. The data inputs into TikTok's algorithm are differentiated. All things being equal, better data inputs create better algorithms. Direct mail goes to the house. It goes to the decision maker in the house. Not just anybody throws the mail in the trash. We somehow think that all mail gets thrown right in the trash. Not on your life, not in our house. No, sir. Our kids never did. My wife had to go through it first. Direct mail is the missing piece for growth because direct mail bakes this in for you. Okay? Direct mail goes to the decision maker and their decision is clear. Crystal clear. We know they're engaged. They have to look at it or it piles up. My daughter said there was like 1,000 pieces of mail. She hadn't done it. She had to go through it all. She said it just piles up. Yeah, it does. You have to look at your mail or it piles up. Also, you have to be the decision maker to throw it away. It actually takes effort to throw mail away. Can't get around it. So TikTok's design is unique, one video at a time. It's when you're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, it may be great for user ease of use But nobody has any idea what's going on. It's like browser history. Browser history tells you almost nothing because I don't even know what's coming up next. And I don't know what's going to look like. And I look at hundreds of articles a month. And most of them I don't like. So what does that tell you? You have no clue if you're scanning my browser history, what I'm into and what I'm not. But in TikTok, length of viewing, rewatches, likes, comments, song choices, video subject shares are all better than nothing, which is what Twitter and Facebook have. Now here's the kicker. With direct mail and with selling something, not only do you have some very clicky stuff, you got money decisions. You've got high engagement, real decision maker, money decisions. I mean, you can even track who goes to the site. That you can do. I mean, it's not that hard. But the big deal is, did they part with the cash? Did they come online and buy? Did they go to the retail store and buy? With a good retail interface, and we'll talk about this tomorrow in the webinar, you can tell what's going on. It's on a whole nother level. Direct mail may be inconvenient. It may be annoying. But it gives you a labeled data set. This is it right here. Look at this line right here. TikTok has made its product a bit less user-friendly. Say, oh, mail annoys people. Let me read this again. TikTok has made its product a bit less user-friendly. Okay? It's not a frictionless experience, but it's an algorithm-friendly design. Direct mail is the original algorithm-friendly design. You're not going to invent another TikTok, but you can send out a mailer, and you can get help with it. With traditional Twitter, Facebook, endless scroll of content, the user inputs are less clear. With browser data, the user inputs are less clear. With mass media, they're completely unclear. You don't know if anybody's even in front of the TV set. And you say, oh, I'm on YouTube, so I know they're there. No, you don't. My YouTube, with the auto play, sometimes it's going all night. You have no idea what's going on. And sometimes I get there and I'm thinking, what in the world? And it's because YouTube, assumes I like the first thing, then assumes I like the second, then assumes I like the third, and by that time it's so far off of my interests, but it just keeps going. And YouTube says, oh, he watched this, and he watched this, and he watched this, and he watched this. All these things must be interesting. Let's retune his algorithm. No feedback, no real feedback at all. TikTok, on the other hand, with such clear signals, whether positive or negative, can quickly understand a user preference, a labeled data set, real human involvement. This creates a tight feedback loop and kicks off the flywheel that continually improves TikTok's recommendation and data inputs. Is it as good as direct mail? Probably not. Direct mail has even bigger advantages. It's physical. It has touch and smell, along with sight and weight. And those things can be utilized. You say it's not as quick and convenient. It's an algorithm-friendly design. Direct mail is the most cutting-edge medium you can use. Tune in tomorrow. Register at wdma.org to get. We're not quite sure yet where we're going to stream this. It's probably going to be really accessible, so you don't need to register to come, but you might want to. Have a great day. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart. Bye-bye.